So, what's a good way to enjoy life for an hour or two? I have, and I'm sitting in my living room as I tape this, and over to my right, your left, there's a television set. What? Practically everybody in this country has one of those in their living room. This one I bought a few years ago when my old TV gave up the ghost. This one I bought because I couldn't afford much and it was inexpensive. But it hasn't given me any trouble, so I won't complain. Now, I had prior to that had Roku boxes on every TV in the house. But it didn't get used a lot here and there when my wife was still alive. The Roku box got used for maybe an hour a day on the main TV. Maybe a little more if she used it for something while I was doing other things. But it was about an hour every evening where we would watch usually a rerun of a Cisco Kid and some cartoons. Now, after I got this TV, it has Roku built into it. So when I turn it on, the first thing that comes up is the Roku menu, not the TV. I have to actually do a few more clicks to get to my cable provider and their offerings. But I use the Roku. I use it more than I did. And one of the things I use it for is movies. Yeah. My cable company tells me I have some movie channel as part of my bundle. I think Stars, I'm not sure. I never look at it. To come back to this a little bit, give a little more background on my movie tastes. Several years ago, my granddaughter posted a quote from Animal Crackers, the Marx Brothers movie, on Facebook. I noted that I was familiar with it, that it was from Animal Crackers. She said, Grandpa, I know. Because you're the one got me started watching those old comedies, Marx Brothers, Abbott, Costello, Laurel, and Hardy. And because she remembered me watching them and she had, kind of watched them with me and she got hooked. Those old comedies can do wonderful things for you. Red Skelton. The Forward Rush Man is still one of my favorite movies. But those old comedies, those are my favorites. Now, I'm not saying that should be everybody's favorite. Everybody has their own tastes. I find Adam Sandler pretty much unbearable. Some people love him. I find Jim Carrey pretty much unbearable. Some people love him. And that's fine. For me, Animal House had its moments. For other people, it was a laugh riot. But for me, Bill Murray made Caddyshack. For other people, it was Rodney Dangerfield or Ted Knight. But movies are a good way to kill an hour or two. And I say an hour or two because some of the older movies are pretty short. Marx Brothers Go West is barely an hour. But while some movies are kind of short, some of them are kind of long. I know when I was a kid, we went to the drive-in to see the Ten Commandments. It had just been released. Now, I know this wasn't the fact, but the feeling for a little kid, and, the Ten Commandments was something that was great for my parents, but it wasn't much of a kid-friendly movie. And, it was kid-friendly in that it wasn't aimed at adults necessarily, but, that is, it was family-friendly, it was okay for kids to see. But it wasn't entertaining to a little kid like me. And, I would have sworn we got there about sundown on Friday night and got home just in time for Dad to head for work Monday morning. And he had several hours drive to work because he was working construction and he was working quite a ways out of town. But it just seemed like that movie took forever. Because as a child, I wasn't finding it entertaining. Going back and watching it as an adult, I loved it. But that's how it works. But I strongly recommend. Everybody seems to kind of have their little niche that they like as far as movies. And I strongly recommend that you find your niche, and when you're starting to get bored, don't run to the computer and pull up Facebook or YouTube, even though it means you can watch me or whatever. Whether you do it by HBO Stars, whatever, or, whatever, I can't remember all the movie channels that are on TV anymore, or whether you do it by a Roku box or iTunes or whatever you got. Instead, pull yourself up a movie. Keep some microwave popcorn around. Nuke a bag of it right quick like, and sit down and grab yourself something to drink. Enjoy the movie. And for that matter, once in a while, if you still have a movie theater in your town, we do. And I live in a town of less than 1,400 people. We still have a movie theater. And if your movie theater is showing something you want to go see or think might be fun, go. You'll find it well worth your time.